words, trends and momentum may be erased from the dictionary of politics after this year. Ask the trendsetter with all the momentum not 3 months ago, Senator Clinton. But our number one story in the countdown as we move into the countdown to the polls closing in Wisconsin from our MSNBC headquarters here in New York now. If there were trends coming out of the Chesapeake primaries of last week, they were these. Senator Obama's support among white males had shot through the ceiling. His support from Democrats making less than $50,000 a year had exploded. Even his numbers among white women voters had grown. So as we begin to interpret tonight, let's look at where the Democratic nominating process stands tonight. In pledged delegates, it's Obama 1,116 to Clinton's 985, giving Obama the lead of 131 delegates, that according to NBC News tabulations. Unallocated delegates from previous contests are estimated to be breaking slightly in Obama's favor. And the NBC News super delegate count is Obama 184, Clinton 257, bringing, as you see here in the complicated math formula, Obama's total edge down to 62 delegates and totals of 1,324 on the left, 1,262 on the right. But as not all delegates are created equal, neither are all voters. To expand on that, Rachel Maddow, Air America host, MSNBC political analyst. Rachel, good evening.
Hi, Keith.
What is the best headline that Senator Clinton possibly could get tonight other than "I won Wisconsin outright"?
Well, she doesn't, I don't think, need very much tonight in order for this to be an overall positive evening. I think there is some Clinton psychosis in the media, so that she's either the presumptive nominee, she's a juggernaut, she's an unstoppable machine, or she's dead meat. She's a snowflake in hell. She has no chance at all. Right now, she's in the snowflake in hell department. The media is completely writing off her chances, and that means that all she has to do is come very close to Barack Obama, and she'll defy the political obituaries that have been prematurely written for her.
But the worst detail would be for her what? That she does not have a dominant lead among women in Wisconsin?
I think women, the women demographic is important, although the gender gap, Barack Obama has been closing it, frankly. I'm not sure that the Clinton campaign can reasonably expect to totally dominate among women Democrats in Wisconsin tonight. I think what may be more important looking ahead to the next contests, to Pennsylvania and to Texas and Ohio, of course, are working class white voters. 9 out of 10 Democrats voting in Wisconsin in 2004 were white, and looking at the lower end of the economic spectrum, that's the group that she's really going to need to do very well in order to carry on in these next big contests.
So is there a possible signal tonight in the exit polls or in margin in Wisconsin that would indicate that Ohio and Texas 2 weeks from now no longer is Clinton's firewall, but rather Obama's opportunity to put Clinton away?
Well, not in the exit polls, but the overall result, if it's a blowout tonight in Wisconsin, I think that's going to be very hard to spin away for the Clinton campaign. They're going to have to start spinning increasingly outlandish scenarios as to how she can win if she really does get blown out tonight in Wisconsin. In terms of exit polls, I do think it is going to be those working class white voters. They're going to tell the story about whether or not we can expect anything different in Texas, Ohio, and in Pennsylvania than what will probably be a 10-0 Obama sweep heading into those contests.
We talked earlier in the hour about negative campaigning, talking about outlandish.
Yeah.
Is there anything in the interior numbers that could suggest the impact of that, or is that all going to be found in the final score?
Well, I'm glad that you've been talking about that tonight, because I think that's actually a really, really important factor here. If the Clinton campaign is not able to take Barack Obama down a few pegs with all the incredible negative stuff that they've thrown at him, particularly in the last couple of days before this voting today, her best hope for going at him in terms of negative campaigning is that she's got something even worse about him that she's holding back, that she's going to launch in subsequent states. That's a prospect that doesn't bode well for the Democratic Party generally. And I don't think it bodes well for what Democrats are expecting from their campaign. So, you know, look for her to have hit him in terms of Democrats' perceptions of his electability and, of course, his overall negative numbers.
And also, we have asked, the field poll has asked some particular questions about negative campaigning and its impact in Wisconsin. So we'll see what comes out of there.
Indeed.
But is there any interior number for Obama that would mitigate a fairly large size victory for him in Wisconsin? Is there anything that takes that away? If it's, what does it have to be, more than 5 points? Does it have to, what can go wrong in a win for him?
Well, the proof's in the pudding, so it's got to be the overall margin. He's hoping for a large margin, and I think a large margin counts as 5 points at this point. But again, I do think the bellwether tonight is going to be working class white voters. One thing that's been really interesting on kind of the issues desk is that Clinton and Obama have both been sounding very Edwards-esque in their economic populism, particularly on trade, talking to blue-collar voters in Wisconsin. They're going to need to keep that up and maybe even intensify it heading into Ohio. So he'll be looking to see how he does with those blue-collar whites.
And the Hispanic number nationally, the change in that in 10 seconds, startling to see it almost even out?
It is startling. I mean, I think that may be a product of what we're seeing in terms of overall momentum. It'll be good to see if that stands.
Rachel Maddow of Air America and, of course, MSNBC political analyst. Stand by. We'll be talking to you again during our coverage of Wisconsin.